Another great opportunity for Washington, taken over here at the 30. And Campbell fires to the end zone, deflected and incomplete. It was Santana Moss trying to get the Ike Taylor deflection, but he couldn't.
It's a 5-wide look, no back in the backfield.
Campbell's pass is complete. There is Shea Townsend on the stop of James Thradd. No Bryant McFadden, no Ryan Clark tonight. It's third down. Campbell's pass behind Antoine Randall, covered by his old teammate Troy Polamalu. Right at the Steeler defense, another 3 and out.
Bad breaks happen against the Steelers. Their defense is such that if they can hold you to 3, you know, that's almost a win for them.
And Willie Parker with a good opening. Second and 2, and Roethlisberger throws for Nate Washington at the 40. It's a first down. To the left, upended by James Harrison. Good year. Campbell, time, tried to take off. It's really essentially no gain as Nick Eason, in his 6th year out of Clemson, brings down the Washington quarterback tonight. They rush 5. Campbell's pass is deflected by James Farrier. The
scrimmage linebackers standing up, defensive ends standing up. An excellent job by Farrier getting his hand on the football.
To the other team's goal line, back-to-back possessions since the Steelers in the opener last year. 3rd and 3 throw by Campbell's broken up by Ike Taylor. Intended for Santana Moss. He's looking for a flag. He's not getting one. Let's go back to the snap. From the 9, here's Willie Parker. Got a good block from Kerry Davis to Springham. The fullback block made that 15-yard gain happen.
Yeah, excellent job right here. Corey Davis does an outstanding job on the blocks. And he's quickened up his stroke as well.
2nd and 5. Portis is submarined by Polamalu. He's coming back in. Let's see what happened here first.
Well, Polamalu does a great job of knifing under Mike Sellers. You can see the shot to the knee of Clinton Portis. Boy, Polamalu, such an active safety. There he is in the backfield making.
So they were looking at his right knee and some blood that was coming out of that knee. Looks to be okay. We'll see if he's back in momentarily. But a meeting at the quarterback brings Campbell down. It is James Harrison and James Farrier who will share one. Harrison among the top 5 in the league in sacks this year.
Linebackers, and here you see it coming off the edge. It's all about pressure. That time's James Harrison and Lamar Woodley both lined up on the same side of the defense. Boy, that'll create some pressure on your pass protections.
Terrain tough to get tonight. Portis back in the game, only gets a yard. Aaron Smith to tackle. Another 3rd down is coming up.
Only one defensive lineman with his hand on the ground.
And Campbell feels the pressure, gets away. A flag comes down as Jason will take the sack from James Harrison. Farrier flushed him. Harrison cleaned up on the sideline and the marker down, trying to save the quarterback.
Number 60, offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
5th meeting in the last 20 years between these teams. Can the Steelers get something going on offense? Take a shot deep downfield and having to come back for it is Hines Ward. And he does and makes the catch with a flag down. Are now ruled incomplete. Ruled incomplete as the back judge came in, but we do have a marker down here. Anthony Montgomery's pressure may have kept Roethlisberger from hitting a home run to Hines Ward.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Spot foul. The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The penalty will be accepted at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, you'll see an underthrown ball. Hines Ward coming back for the football, and really Carlos Rogers in no position to make the play. He grabbed Hines Ward before the ball got there. It's one of those underthrows that puts the secondary in a tough position.
And here's what we're talking about, why Roethlisberger couldn't get it all the way
right. And here they come.
And on 3rd and 10, the hot to Hines Ward, who takes off for the 1st down. And the Steeler fans, and there are plenty of them here, react to the 12-yard gain.
What is going on here?
Excellent job by Ben Roethlisberger, getting his protection right. The quick slant to Hines Ward. Those are blitz beaters of taking the individual talent and putting it together as a team.
Roethlisberger has space with Matt Spaeth, the second-year tight end out of Minnesota. Hitting ball. As Horton sent him high, and Washington knocked him down. We'll have third down coming up.
This makes a great play.
Credit Evans with both sacks tonight. Reed to kick. Again, the snapper is new. First short snap in the game for Garrett Rutkowski. It's perfect, and it's a three-point game. Jeff Reed hasn't missed a kick all year. It's 6-3, more than a third of the way through tonight.
Last year, it was an utter wow for me.
From the 35 through the hands of Todd Yoder, the backup tight end, incomplete to 2nd and 10. Portis, good hit. Coming across from the defensive end spot by Brett Kiesel.
Holding, number 61, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Brill's Jaws has shown us before, throwing bags at him in the summer. Almost that first interception of the season. Deshae Townsend deflected it. It's 3rd and long.
To your point about
a 3rd and 20 here. Little pocket to throw from. It'll just be an underneath catch for Portis. James Farrier and the Steeler defense with a response. They have not allowed Zorn's team to convert a 3rd down tonight. 0 for 7. 3+ years in the league. Parker left. Oh, great moves. How's that knee feeling? He had to make all those moves to get out to the 40 and gain 6 yards.
for the players.
I understand that aspect of it. The league is certainly trying to protect the players, but football is a violent game. It's called tackle football.
Casey
Here's an example.
yesterday.
Watch. Here's Brooks Bouncer in the pocket. Justin Tucker wraps him up, actually pulls the arms back after the tackle. He gets called 15 yards for unnecessary roughness. This is tackle football, guys. That's what happens when the quarterback's standing here. He's going to take a hit. And normally, I defend the quarterbacks, but you just can't make it. You can't throw a flag on Justin Tucker.
Just suggesting that a lot of people who say this is tackle football are no longer being tackled. You know, it's a distance that they have now, saying let's go back to the old days.
And I'm all for protecting the players, but if you take the violent element out of the game, what'll happen?
3rd down. Chris Cooley going to be very close to the 1st down. Farrier did a great job of holding him back. Did somebody make a play in special teams? Like a block of a punt that is picked up by Ike Taylor, who lost it. William Gay has it, and the Steelers take over at the 13. Andre Frazier with the block.
Maybe he's seen the game before.
Well, he saw the overload to the left side of the punter. He knew there was going to be some pressure. Just an outstanding job by the Steelers. And Tony, you are correct. Michael is a psychic.
He really is.
Nate Washington, the man briefly in motion. 4 receiving options. A strike by Roethlisberger is caught by Ward at the goal line. He is just shy, but it's 1st and goal. It's 1st and goal, inches away. The all-time leading receiver in Steelers history thought he had career touchdown 69.
Just a really nice job by Ben Roethlisberger of getting the ball in the seam before Rodgers and Landry can converge on Hines Ward.
You got Big Ben. He's going to keep it and score, and the Steelers get the game's 1st touchdown.
So you don't need a running back, Tony.
When you got a guy who's 6'5" and weighs about 260 as a quarterback, he can wedge in there. I actually predicted that. I just didn't say it. I didn't want to embarrass Mike, who has predicted everything correctly all season. They're not doing what people expected, so they get talked about. And good, strong 5-2 and 6-2 teams like us and the Redskins aren't. And then he said it's like it's determined by where your games are positioned on SportsCenter. They said we're at the end. You know, like.
Well, as you mentioned, Mike, he just went into the locker room early, and it's probably to get as much time for treatment as possible. What we saw earlier in the game, early 2nd quarter, watch this as Ben follows through. His hand gets hit on an opponent's helmet. And you'll see him shake it out. And that may have been bothering him. Now, that's the throwing hand. The glove is on his non-throwing hand where the thumb injury happened last week.
Washington out of timeouts, and Campbell dropped back to pass and is brought down by Lamar Woodley. We have 4 sacks by the Steelers in this first half.
Ben Roethlisberger is not out of the locker room. I was up in the hallway, and he was getting x-rays on his hand, presumably. Now, I spoke with Mike Tomlin coming out of the locker room. He doesn't know what the status of Roethlisberger is yet. He told me Byron Leftwich, the backup, is getting ready to play. And they also said that with Leftwich in, nothing would change. At this point, we have not seen Roethlisberger making his way back onto the field. There is a small chance he will come back out and play. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on.
And the first plays are a run with Willie Parker. Fred Smoot tackles him. Gain of about 5 on first down. Picked up the only one is there. And he's got it. And his second effort got it done. First down, Pittsburgh. So a first down done on the ground. The diving attempt is missed by Rocky McIntosh, and the deep ball to Nate Washington. Gets it to the 11, a pickup of 50 yards. That is 4 straight games with a big gain by Washington.
Well, on first down, Nate Washington has been a big-time player. On first down, he has 6 catches for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a play right there by Byron Leftwich. He saw the blitz coming in his face, did not flinch as Rocky McIntosh came flying over Willie Parker, grabbed his jersey, slid down his jersey. Look at Byron hang in the pocket. Finds Washington down the field, and there's the big, strong arm.
4-man rush. Leftwich reloads, throws complete. That's going to be the first down from Milwaukee Moore. So the third down back, Moore got it, and it's first and goal.
You see over the top. He's waiting on Moore, waiting on Moore. Pumps once, pumps twice. Now he sees Moore and delivers a perfect throw. Moore goes up over Washington and makes the catch.
First and goal, it is Parker. It is touchdown, Pittsburgh. And it feels like we're in Western Pennsylvania.
A pretty impressive comeback in this game by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Second down, going down again. Lamar Woodley, 5 sacks for the Steelers, and Campbell thrown to the ground. Slowly picks himself up.
Speed with which these linebackers attack the quarterback. You see the athleticism of Lamar Woodley, then that quick stepper there. Watch him, just quick right on top of Jason Campbell. You can practice all you want. You can't replicate that.
Century of consecutive service in the league. Dialing him up one more time. Campbell comes back the other way, not going anywhere. That pass for Portis. It'll be 4th down, and the Redskins will kick it. They've got 2 first downs on this drive. From the 30, Campbell off the hands of Portis. There's the first interception of the year, but then it is dropped and recovered by the Steelers. I think they're going to rule that a pick and a fumble.
And we might have roughing the quarterback, possibly.
There's a marker down by Campbell.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was intercepted. The holding by number 60 on the offense is declined. First down, Pittsburgh.
Absolutely a clean interception and a fumble recovered by the Steelers. 33. Here comes 6 Redskins. And the big windup for Leftwich, completes it at the line for a first down to Santonio Holmes in front of Carlos Rogers.
Leftwich does a great job of hanging in the pocket. And boy, does he bring it. Look at him spin it, Tony. This is a great throw by Byron Leftwich. Big, long, elongated delivery. Look at this, drops that ball almost down to his knee, but since he had one-on-one coverage in the outside, corner could not look in the backfield.
Yeah, if you're pass rushing from the blind side, you got to know from the waist down, you can slap at the ball if he's winding up and knock it down. Got to get there first. Parker on the edge, chased down by Laron Landry. Carlos Rogers dumps him with a good gain of 8. 4th game he's playing in this year. Complete to Moore. Got a block from Holmes. First down.
He's playing terrific, and I love this right here. He moves outside the pressure, finds Moore out in the flat. Excellent field vision, seeing the field with clarity.
10 for Leftwich. Steps up. Moore has a ton of room. Moore with nobody around him to the 23-yard line. Everybody went long. Moore leaked out. Leftwich took a shot. but completes it for 25.
An incredible job by Byron Leftwich. The play design is off play action. Try to get a big play down the field. You see the play action fake to Mewelde Moore. He doesn't have it downfield. The last minute, the pocket collapses. Mewelde Moore checks out of the backfield and sorry to say Roethlisberger, but it's not Roethlisberger. It's a play made by Byron Leftwich that looked like Ben Roethlisberger.
4 in the pattern. Time again from Leftwich. Complete to Hines Ward. It did come down? No. Redskins trying to wave it off, but a strike by Leftwich, first and goal.
Which senator wins as a result of that? How's that work if the Steelers win? Who's it good for?
Obama.
Okay.
And you see Ward had that arm underneath the ball.
Excellent catch.
Yep.
Excellent throw by Byron Leftwich. Low into the outside where only his receiver could make a play. Hines Ward gets some numbers down to the football and makes the catch.
Steelers up 10. Looking to add more. Mewelde Moore. Second and goal. Hot to Holmes, who's got it for the touchdown. They gave him space and they took it.
Byron Leftwich is a running play. He saw Carlos Rogers 7 yards off Santonio Holmes. He dropped back and threw him the football. This is great awareness by your quarterback. You know, a lot of young guys in a situation like that run the running play called, try to get the touchdown. He saw Carlos Rogers a good 7 yards off Santonio Holmes, just took one step back and threw the ball to Holmes. You get a touchdown. Great awareness by Byron Leftwich.
Campbell back to Portis. Was that ever caught? No, incomplete. Incomplete. Never secured by Portis. What happened earlier this half with Portis. Deep shot for the rookie. No chance for Devin Thomas to get around Ike Taylor.
Holding, number 60, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Chris Samuels, the left tackle. Four-man twisting rush, and they get to Campbell for the 6th time tonight. 6 sacks, more than Campbell's been sacked in any game in his NFL career. It's an easy decision. Got to go for it here. Steelers fans making the noise. Pressure coming from Deshae Townsend. And they force him to get rid of it, and a penalty marker down near Campbell. Let's see what this will be.
Well, if it's on the Steelers, it's going to be a dumb penalty, but let's see.
It's either going to be roughing the passer, intentional grounding. They asked to see if the ball went near the line of scrimmage on the pass by Campbell. And here's Carl Sheffers.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 51 of the defense.
Wow.
Contact with the helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, Mike Tomlin, he said, "Are you kidding me?" Maybe didn't hear Sheffer say contact with the helmet by James Farrier. Watch for 51's headgear. It's helmet-to-helmet contact, and by the rule book, that's
automatic.
What you call.
It's automatic, right? You have to call, George?
Yes. Helmet-to-helmet contact is going to be called.
Not a pansy league situation?
No. You can see Jason Campbell got jarred. It's helmet-to-helmet. They're going to call that, and that is the right call.
So on first down, the hot out to Devin Thomas, who is taken out by William Gay. Second and 12 from the 23. Here is Campbell. Too high for Cooley. And incomplete. Campbell had nothing to go to, so tried to swing it to the outlet. Portis, who couldn't catch it, and it was incomplete. This drive kept alive, as we mentioned earlier, by the helmet-to-helmet contact. James Farrier on Jason Campbell. You see he's leading with that helmet. Mike Tomlin, not only on the play, not only during the timeout, continued the conversation with Carl Sheffers, the referee, who finally came and said, look, well, number one, you got to get back. And number two, here's the explanation. When you look at it on film, by the book, it's the right call. I feel like the Steelers think that they are being singled out, and they feel like they're always the ones getting the flags. But it is consistent around the league. We have no dog in the fight. Portis up the middle to the 6th. And you have an interesting choice to keep in the back of your mind here if you're Washington. If you don't get in on this play, You need the field goal.
You kick the field goal. You make it a 23-9 game, 2 touchdowns behind. You're going to need 3 scores no matter what. So if you got to take 3, you take it right here.
And we've seen coaches this year think, well, I'm down here. Am I going to get down here again? You keep the game extended as long as possible.
You can always get caught up in the emotion, but you got to understand the score, and you want to make it from a 3-score game to a 2-score game. That's simple. You're going to need 3 scores to get back in this ball game or get the lead in the ball game.
I pick up the tempo, too, because you only have 1 timeout. Here's the 3rd down. Campbell taking off. Can he get there? Yes. Touchdown. Solomon says challenge it right away.
Solves their problem with the field goal.
I don't know. It's where the ball is when his knee hits, and the Steeler defenders are telling their coach, flag this baby. No, he's a yard short.
Not even
a yard short.
It's like Vinny Testaverde's phantom touchdown against the Seahawks many years ago.
At the Meadowlands.
Yes.
Tomlin's got the flag in hand.
Well, that's not a score.
And he's challenged it. So this will be challenged, and it'll be 4th and goal at the 1. Does the defender touch him to the ground? Yes, he pushes him down. I think he pushed him in the back to knock him down. We'll have to check that one more time. Does Kiesel get his hands on him?
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown. We'll review the play.
If Campbell went down under his own volition and then rolled into the end zone, it would not be deemed a tackle.
The runner was touched prior to being down by contact. He's short of the goal line. The ball will be placed just inside the 1-yard line where it will be 4th down and goal to go.
4th and goal, Redskins have to score. Fake to Portis, they're going to throw for it. Incomplete. James Farrier broke it up. So the Redskins have done the less than expected in the play calling department in some of those situations this year, and it's worked for most of the year until there.
Xander, number 79, who is normally a defensive tackle. Not exactly the kind of guy you want to have as your primary receiver on 4th and 1 with the game on the line.
Credit Dick LeBeau and the Steeler defense yet again. I mean, there you go, Jossie. Deflected and incomplete. A good way to honor those guys, if not under the traditional coach or player route. Blitz coming from William Gay. Couldn't get there in time. But Santana Moss now back in the game. Couldn't hang on as Campbell was knocked down.
Disappointing night for him, for Jason Campbell.
Yeah, with their blitz schemes. Here they come again. They're coming off the edge. They're corner blitzes.
Can Portis beat the blitz the other way? That's the one thing about the Steelers. When they blitz so often, as Tyrone Carter was the guy there, they've got something behind it to cover them up. They never end up getting exposed for that huge play. The Giants for the Redskins. You don't let the play clock get down to 1, down 17. Doesn't matter. Sack 7 of the night. Lawrence Timmons out of Florida State with an exclamation point. An evening defined by the Steeler defense.
The 2 4th-down plays that the Redskins have faced in the last 5 minutes, both were completely blown up by the Steelers.
Yeah.
Completely, utterly.
Here, you're going to have 2 defenders, Timmons and Taylor, clean at the quarterback. That's breaking down your pass protection schemes. Very few guys do it as well as
I came here tonight. I was going to wax rhapsodic about Jim Zorn. I had all sorts of material. The Washington Post had him all met a few times.
Yep. Big night for him. Pick thrown by Campbell, his 2nd of the evening and of the season. And Tyrone Carter brings the proceedings to a conclusion.
And everybody left in this stadium is waving a terrible towel. They're all here from Pittsburgh.
It's incredible. Wow, do they travel well.
Don't they do this for hockey when the Penguins play the Caps?
The Penguins used to have the most expensive seat in the NHL. So you would drive 3 hours, 45 minutes, 4 hours.
Convincing win for the Steelers. Get their first win over an NFC East team this year. And the Giants have a larger lead now in the NFC East.
Boy, the Steelers are a team fueled by that defense.
You know, when the Steelers played the Giants and it was a good, close game, you had the feeling that maybe those two could be Super Bowl teams.
Michelle Tafoya.
Well, we were just talking about the fact that after the game, Byron Leftwich threw a football to a guy in a Washington Redskins jersey. Who was that?
That was a guy named LV that used to play with me in Marshall. He was the 2nd wide receiver next to Moss, and he from up this way, so I ain't really seen him in a while. I seen him right there, and it was good to see him.
Listen, we saw Ben Roethlisberger head up the tunnel before halftime. We knew something was up. When did you know you were coming in?
I didn't really know until halftime. They just told me, get ready. And then when I came back out, I knew he was getting the ball. And I was just ready to play, man. You know, I've been waiting on this moment for a while. I know I can play in this league. I'm healthy for the first time in a while. And I'm just happy that I got an opportunity to play today.
Yeah, they always say you're one play away from coming in when you're the backup. But why do you think you were able to get those 2 drives going, the big 50-yard pass? Why was the ball able to move in the second half the way it wasn't in the first?
First and foremost, I got a good football team around me. And I just wanted to get the ball in my guys' hands. I mean, we played a good football team today, and I was just trying my best when those guys protected, just try to get the ball in my playmakers' hand and let them make plays.
Can't ignore the defense. Jason Campbell's first 2 interceptions of the season. You guys shut down Clinton Portis. What's it like to have that kind of defense on your team?
I practice against those guys every day. You know, I'm the scout team quarterback, so I know how good they are. And Coach LeBeau, man, he's been good for so long, and as a defensive coordinator, he always give your team an opportunity to win.
So more praise for Coach Dick LeBeau. Thanks and congratulations, Byron.
Thanks.
I had a lot of time to think in South Dakota, all right? And you know what I realized? I'm burned out.